Coming up on Double Tap TV.
We hijack Steven's Canadian vacation and take a trip to Microsoft to talk all about accessibility.
The latest tech.
Second place with a total of 5 points.
Interviews.
The most useful product we can at the lowest possible price.
Accessibility.
I'm loving it and I'm sticking with it.
This is Double Tap TV.
Welcome to Double Tap TV. I am Marc, as always, with Steven Scott. A very exciting episode lined up for you guys. We are out of the studio and we are on location at Microsoft headquarters in Toronto, Canada, actually Mississauga, Canada, because we've got a very, very cool episode lined up where we're going to be talking all about accessibility at Microsoft. So if you guys want to get involved, our email address is feedback@AMI.ca. If you want to find us on Twitter, it's @DoubleTapCanada, and use the hashtag AskDoubleTap. Now, without further ado, you've seen enough of me. I want to welcome in Steven Scott, who's got a special guest lined up for the rest of the show.
Thanks, Mark. Yes, I'm here with Ricardo Wagner, the Microsoft Accessibility Lead here in Canada. Great to have you here. Welcome to Double Tap TV.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us, first of all, about Microsoft's role in accessibility and making accessibility into all of the products that you have here.
Yes. So, accessibility is part of everything we do at Microsoft, and we are on a journey to ensure that we bring accessibility by design in all our products and solutions. It started really early, back 90, I would say, and we are evolving, and we are seeing an amazing opportunity that is happening with the advancement of artificial intelligence.
But you really have ramped up accessibility. As a blind guy myself, I can tell the difference in the company's approach to accessibility, certainly over the last 5 years. I used to make the joke about the narrator screen reader being the screen reader you would get, you'd use that to download another screen reader. Not anymore. It's a standalone screen reader. It's getting the respect it deserves. It's getting the backing it deserves, it seems, from the organisation. What's changed? What's brought about this real push towards better accessibility?
So Microsoft is a company that was founded in 1975, so mid-age company today. We had a first mission with Bill Gates to have a laptop in every single desk. This mission now is to empower every person in every organization on the planet to achieve more. This mission came with our new CEO, Satya Nadella, and once he took over as CEO, he brought this concept of ensuring that we build a diverse and inclusive workforce and be mindful of all different perspectives and points of view, especially for persons with disabilities. And how we do this and how we are trying to bring this to life is by hiring people with disabilities, by bringing them as part of our fabric, bring them as part of our engine. And by doing this, we are approaching results in finding solutions that we were not able to deliver before. So I have many examples to showcase how we are now innovating by designing solutions for people with permanent disabilities that is in fact working for people with temporary or situational or even people without disabilities. We approach saying accessibility for few becomes usability for many. And this is a very important concept, especially with the mission and bold statement that we have to empower every person in the world.
And of course, we're going to talk about a lot of those examples on the show today, which I'm really excited to tell people about, because I think a lot of people, when they hear Microsoft, they might think about computers, they might think about Microsoft Windows, but of course, there's so much more to Microsoft now, isn't there? So we want to get into all of that. But like you say, this is accessibility for everyone. It's not just for blind people, it's not just for even people with disabilities. Explain that a bit more for people, because I think people might have the feeling that accessibility is a sort of locked off area, just, you hold your disabled badge up and you get access to this area, but that's not the case.
It's not, indeed. It's a surprising thing for me as well when I do presentations to customers, part of conferences across Canada. People ask, how many people with disabilities in the world or in Canada? According to United Nations, there are 1.2 billion people with disabilities in the world. 1.2 billion people.
It's a huge number, isn't it?
Huge number. In Canada alone is 6.2 million people with disabilities. And the number is growing. As the population is getting older, is aging, 50% of the population above 60 years is developing a disability. So this is going to be a conversation that more and more companies and more organizations will need to have an approach anytime soon. So from that market perspective, it's also a potential market that many organizations are not assisting or not addressing solutions to. We have research proving that there are a potential market of $8 trillion around the segment with persons with disabilities, and today is not well assisted. I heard this quote once, and I think it resonates with this conversation. Environments make people disabled. Mm-hmm. It's all about the things around the environment that makes a person disabled. It's not about the person. When you think about the environment, not about the person, you start to think in possibilities and ways to innovate. For now, Microsoft, this is a solvable design challenge that drives innovation. It's a design challenge. It's not a personal health condition. If you design in thinking about accessibility by design, you make it work for everyone.
And how do you think that affects the outside world in terms of other businesses, how they view people with disabilities? Because of course we know the numbers of people who are disabled who are out of work, for example. Employers who don't feel they can employ a disabled person because, you know, what do I do with a disabled person here, yes. Right? How would they use the technology, all of that?
Yeah.
Do you think that your work towards greater accessibility in the products, highlighting it as you are today, and you have done already a number of different ways, do you think that changes society for the better? Do you hope that?
I truly hope. That's what makes my heart sing, and what makes me wake up every day is the idea that if we let people know what they don't know, what technology can do, and if organizations redefine processes, train people differently, and start to have a mindset and a culture of inclusion, amazing things can happen. Unemployment rate for persons with disabilities is 2 times higher compared to persons without disabilities. And most people with disabilities employed, they are actually underemployed. And when you think about potential talents in the workplace, where all companies in the world are looking for potential candidates and talents to work, there is an amazing untapped market of persons with disabilities that can contribute. They are just ready to go, but they are unemployed just because of mindset in place of thinking about, oh, this is going to turn in additional costs, how I'm going to create the accommodation for this person in the workplace. And they shouldn't think about accommodation, they should think about adaptation. Mm-hmm. If you create an environment that works for everyone, you will not need accommodation. No one wants to be accommodated, like raise my hand, hey, I need accommodation, right? Accommodation is after the facts, is an exception, always involve cost. And that's something that many organizations, they are rethinking now, how to design an environment that works for everyone. The more we do this, I think we have an amazing opportunity to drive social impact by hiring and attracting more talents with disabilities to the workforce.
Ricardo, you're going to stay with us through the episode.
Yes.
We're going to have a look at some amazing apps, and also how artificial intelligence is playing a big role now in accessibility, and how others out there can help make that happen. Ricardo Wagner with us here, Microsoft Accessibility Lead in Canada. Marc, back to you.
It is Double Tap TV, Stephen Scott, our guest Ricardo Wagner. I am Marc Aflalo. Again, if you want to get in touch, feedback at AMI.ca, on Twitter at Double Tap Canada, and don't forget the hashtag AskDoubleTap. We'll be back in just a moment with more from Microsoft HQ.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.ca/DoubleTap. This is Double Tap TV.
We are back on Double Tap TV. Marc Aflalo and Stephen Scott live from Microsoft HQ in Mississauga, Ontario. For those of you who are not watching in Canada, this is in Canada. I am Marc Aflalo with Stephen Scott again. Feedback at AMI.ca is our email address. Ask Double Tap, the hashtag to use if you want to find us on Twitter, and that address is at Double Tap Canada. We continue now with some very cool hands-on demonstrations. Stephen, you're still sitting there with Ricardo, right?
I am, and I am having a great time here. I'm learning all about the latest technology and some amazing things I didn't even know about. I want to talk to you about your first demonstration here, because this is incredible. We've heard of live captioning, but one of the questions I was just asking you before we came back on was, okay, that's great. What you say will appear on the screen behind us here, and it will be displayed in text, but how would someone like myself, who's got low vision, know what that is? Mm-hmm. And you're going to explain that for us, so please do.
Yes, that's a good example of inclusive meetings. So organizations today are empowered to leverage the latest from Microsoft technology. In this example, Microsoft 365. With PowerPoint, we have the technology called live subtitles. What it does, When you set up meetings, you can set up online live captions. You can speak in English with live captions in English, or you can speak in English with live caption in French. You can actually pick and choose up to 12 languages that you can speak, and people can follow in real time in up to 72 different languages with their phones. With this technology, I can speak in Portuguese and people can follow in any language. I'm going to demonstrate how it works.
So you're going to demonstrate this.
Yes.
It's going to appear in words behind us on a screen.
Yes, and my phone is going to read aloud everything I'm going to say in English to you.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Eu posso falar em português e você pode seguir esta conversa em inglês.
I can speak Portuguese. And you can follow this English conversation.
So that's obviously fantastic in the workplace, but at home or around your town or wherever, or city or wherever it is you live, being independent is a major thing. I know this from my own experience. So I think about something like Soundscape, for example, when I'm out and about. If I want to find a location, oftentimes for me, it's what I call the last 10 yards problem, which is you can roughly find a building, you can maybe use whatever it is, maybe Apple Maps or Google Maps to find the specific place, but then finding the door or finding the ATM or finding the specific thing that you're looking for is the challenge. And Soundscape can help, can't it?
So how Soundscape works? It gives you 3D clues from a mental map perspective. It uses open maps and the GPS from your phone, and the solution gives you audio clues in a 3D dimension. So if an object, or for example a church, is on your right, from your headset you're going to hear from your right, in your right ear, a church is in 200 meters. Or if you set a point of interest or a beacon for a specific location, you're going to start to hear a beep telling you the direction. This is really important, especially in places where you're not familiar or you don't still have a mental map. This solution can bring the mental help and support you to experience and navigate.
It's a tool in a toolbox, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you might use Blind Square or you might use Google Maps, whatever your choice is to navigate you, you would complement that with Soundscape.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant for that, isn't it? I mean, I know myself, I use it and I love it because what's wonderful about it is the way that it does position you. That's often the challenge. It's 200 meters east, right. Where is east from where I'm standing, right? So
exactly.
I want to know, and I can use this, and just as you say, in my ear, I can hear it coming out of my right ear. I know, oh, it's over there.
Yes.
And as you turn around, it starts to obviously come center, and you then are aware it's in front of you.
Yes, and you can go with your
incredible.
dog or your cane, to the direction, and leveraging the universal design from a smart city, for example, and go to the place that you want to go. It gives you independence and ways for you to experience your surrounding environment. Remember when we launched, we heard many interesting notes. One of our colleagues from CNAB, he mentioned that he wanted to go to a specific place that he set a beacon in downtown Toronto, but they changed the streets for the Indy race, and the Uber drive could not drop him. But then he started to give advices for the Uber drive on where to turn or where the direction was. So it helped him to get to the point and helped the driver also to drop him at the right place.
When you start to ask blind people directions, you know things have changed in this world, don't you?
Exactly.
It just says a lot.
Exactly.
Now, at home, Seeing AI has become, and not just at home, but primarily at home, I use Seeing AI myself, and it's a wonderful app, and you have many channels of different ways of finding out what's going on. So for example, you receive a piece of mail, and you can't read the mail, but you don't necessarily want to even hand the letter to someone else. You want to be independent and read that information yourself. Particularly around the holidays, you get all your parcels in from the company with a smile, and all your boxes arrive, and you don't want your wife to open them up and start finding all her presents. So you can identify the product by using Seeing AI, using this machine learning, and this is where we talk more about this artificial intelligence and how it begins to become part of disabled people's lives.
Exactly.
Tell us about Seeing AI and how that came about.
Sure, yeah, Seeing AI is another app that is built and designed by blind engineers inside Microsoft. One of the beautiful things from the artificial intelligence and the tech world that we live today, Artificial intelligence is capable of seeing, hearing, helping people with learning and cognitive disabilities. And when you apply artificial intelligence technology, for example, like seeing AI, you use the camera from your phone, and AI is going to describe all the images around you. You mentioned about reading documents or reading letters. It's also from a confidentiality perspective and privacy perspective. It gives you independence. You don't need to ask someone to read on your behalf, especially things that you want to consume from a personal perspective. So seeing AI brings this perspective to everyone, especially community with sight loss. It works with iPhone. So do you mind if I demonstrate that?
Please, yes.
It's
Let's
really
show people how this works.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Both Soundscape and Seeing AI are free. So if you have an iPhone, you can install Seeing AI for free. What Seeing AI does is, I'll give an example. I'm going to take a picture of myself. And it's going to describe, give some clues about me. Okay. If I, for example, if I have beard, mustache, if I'm happy, I'm sad.
If it says you look like Brad Pitt, do I believe you?
You should. Let's see how it's going to work.
Ricardo near center left processing. 43-year-old man with gray hair and a beard looking happy.
Okay. Is the age good? I don't want to judge.
There.
Okay, all right. Okay. Close enough.
Do you mind if I take a picture of you?
Go on then, I'm terrified, but yes.
One face near center left process. 46-year-old man with brown hair wearing glasses looking happy.
I clearly need to go on that diet, but yes. I think weight ages you. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, but it's not just about persons. So you can also use Seeing AI to describe an object.
Preview.
So I have a laptop here on top of a table. I'm going to take a picture of this laptop.
Processing. An open laptop computer sitting on top of a wooden table.
So it gives description. So if I, with my glasses, so I have the glasses from the Soundscape. So I'm going to take a picture of the glasses.
Processing. Probably a pair of sunglasses on a table.
That's incredible.
It's a good example. And you can do this for currency. You can use the system to read a document to you, colors, what else? There are products. So if you are in a grocery store and you don't know if you are buying a water or a beverage, so you can scan the barcode and get the information. That's what Seeing AI does.
That's amazing. You'll stick around because I want to learn more about a new program that's going on, which actually encourages other people out there to get involved, especially around artificial intelligence and how that can be a big part of accessibility as well. It's incredible. I may apply for a job and never return, Mark. I don't know. We shall see what happens. For now, though, back to you.
This is Double Tap TV. There's still way more to come, so please get involved. Feedback at AMI.ca. It's the email address. Don't forget on Twitter, it's @DoubleTapCanada with the hashtag AskDoubleTap. We'll be back in just a moment.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.ca/DoubleTap. This is Double Tap TV.
We're back on Double Tap TV. I am Marc with Stephen Scott, and our special guest this week, Ricardo Wagner from Microsoft, because we're in their home this week. So if you want to get involved, feedback at AMI.ca, and on Twitter, it's @DoubleTapCanada. Don't forget the hashtag AskDoubleTap. Stephen, you're about to dive into a very, very cool program that Microsoft has ongoing. Let's hear more about this one.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I'm having a great time here at Microsoft Canada, and it is lovely to be here, especially in your company here, Ricardo, because I want to tell people about all of the wonderful work that's been going on here in Canada and also around the world as well. Microsoft obviously is a massive company, and you've been doing a lot to promote accessibility, and you're doing that through artificial intelligence and a new program that's starting, I believe.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
We call AI for Accessibility. It's a 5-year program where Microsoft put 25 million grant for educators, non-for-profit organizations, startups, to bring ideas around accessibility to empower persons with disabilities. And we are looking for ideas related to employment, daily life, and communication. Everything that can range from these 3 areas. It's a potential candidate for the Microsoft grant for AI for Accessibility.
So explain that a bit more to us then. What does that mean necessarily? What does someone receive, and what support do you give?
Yeah, the support can be from funds, like monetary funds, or can be from a tech knowledge or access to experts. So we can offer Microsoft, for example, Azure credits. So you can experience and develop your idea using the power of the Microsoft Cloud, or leveraging our expertise, or depending on the project, you can also receive funds, monetary funds.
So, I mean, I go back to this point, but this is for anyone. So if you're at home in your bedroom coding away and thinking I could do something around this, this could be useful, or the idea I have could use some of these tools and you know, develop the next Seeing AI or the next Soundscape iteration. Is that the kind of idea you're thinking about?
Yeah, so we are looking like gaps, especially around employment, daily life, and in communication, and so many ideas around the world, and people trying to find ways to bring their products and ideas to life. And sometimes the missed piece is knowledge or infrastructure from resources and capabilities, or even funding. So by addressing these three pillars, we are looking for ways to empower entrepreneurs and people with amazing ideas to bring product solutions for persons with disabilities, leveraging AI technology.
Can we talk a bit about one of the recipients of this grant in Canada? It's an app called Mappenhood, and it's, I believe, been developed with the CNIB as well here in Canada. And it's all to sort of make the environment more accessible, just as you're suggesting.
Exactly. It's been developed by Immersive. So they create this app to help people with sight loss, blind, to navigate more confidently by giving you information about your surround, in especially if places, for example, if you are going to a neighborhood that is not a friendly neighborhood, you can get a message and let you to change your route or find a route that will be more appropriate for your case, or if you have a hazard, or if you have a construction. So it helps you to navigate independently with more confidence.
What I love about that idea is that it tells you, for example, if a neighbourhood is safe or not. Yes. These are the kind of things that you would want to know. I mean, yes, it's great to know that you can get a bus to a place, but when you step off that bus, what are you walking into, right? So you want to know that where you're going is safe, that it's a good place to be, and all of this information can be brought in. And this is, of course, one app of many different programs. As you say, this is a 5-year program.
It's a 5 years. We are seeing more and more startups signing up and more people signing up for the program. We are looking for more people to sign up and bring their own ideas. And what I love personally from this project is the piece of people bring innovation, and innovation that not only works for persons with disabilities, but can work for everyone. The example from Immersive with Mappenhood, it can work for people with low vision and blind, but can work for everyone as well.
What gets you here in the morning? What drives you to do this job? What excites you in this role?
What excites me, my personal mission in life is to help people with disabilities. And Microsoft has a mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. I have a perfect match where I can do my job, work for Microsoft, and Microsoft can also work for me. And I have a chance to work with amazing people throughout this company, people that are really with the good intention of not just driving innovation from a good business outcome, but the idea of driving business outcome with social impact. That's something that I love from this space of accessibility, and how much more we can achieve when we design things from an inclusive and accessible perspective.
Well, I use your technology and I love it, and I find it becoming more accessible all of the time. And I think, you know, there are a lot of blind people out there who, you know, well, there's always people who will criticise and there's always people who will moan. Yeah. We all do it at some point in our lives. But the point is, it is always important as well, just to sometimes recognise the hard work that you guys do, and I hope we can point the spotlight at that.
Thank you so much.
Stephen, that was a really cool experience, like being invited here. Obviously, thank you to Microsoft Canada for inviting us over here. To be able to experience stuff like that and understand where they're coming from and how they design things is really an eye-opener, so to speak.
Yeah, that's ironic, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about what is going on here. We're learning how accessible the Microsoft world is becoming. I said at the top, you know, one of the things I've often felt about Microsoft is it's a place where you'll get Windows computers or Windows software, but it's so much more than that now. And one of the biggest takeaways is, of course, the wonderful apps they're developing. You're getting Seeing AI, Soundscape, and these really make a difference. These are apps I use in my everyday life, and I encourage you to download them to your iPhone because they can make such a difference to your life. And you know, even you get lost most places you go, so
pretty much
Soundscape would be great for you, especially with those glasses.
Yeah, those are really cool. Thank you for letting us hijack your vacation. I appreciate that.
I'm
nice,
here.
Nice to have Steven Scott in Canada.
Hang around with technology guys. It's great.
Thank you again to Microsoft Canada, of course, for inviting us out here, and thank you guys for being here. If you want to get in touch, our email address, I don't think I've mentioned it enough times. Feedback at AMI.ca. On Twitter, it is at @DoubleTapCanada. The hashtag is, Steven?
Ask Double Tap.
Thank you guys for being here. We will see you on the next episode.
For more great Double Tap TV content, visit AMI.ca/doubletap.
Hosted by Marc Aflalo and Steven Scott. Special guest Ricardo Wagner. Videographer Matthew McGurk. Segment producer Alex Smythe. Production assistants Joanna Ryan and Wendy Kaufman. Integrated Described Video Specialist Ron Rickford. Coordinating producer Jennifer Johnson. Director Production Karen Nye. Director Programming Brian Perdue. VP Programming and Production John Melville. President and CEO David Arrington. Copyright 2019 Accessible Media Inc.